Yeah, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Nazar back at you, y'all Savas. But anyways, I'm gonna get into something real serious. A lot of people have been getting at me about that, and it's crazy because one guy in particular had got at me. He said he seen something on one of my prior videos where I mentioned something about being bipolar, and that is in fact true. And him and a lot of people, well, I won't say a lot of people, but I say more than 10 have got at me and asked me, well, how do you cope with that? How were you able to cope with that many with that type of mentality and being in an environment that you were? And did I seek out any help? And to be honest with you, I was never able to seek out help just due to the fact that there's a stigmatism that comes along with being bipolar or having any type of mental issues. Because if you did go to the nurse office and tell them that you had issues, you were being removed from the yard, you were ending up in an EOP building, which for a lot of people that's a no-go, especially for the double S. That's a, well, for any car really. I mean, for most cars, that's a no-go. There is no going to no EOP yards, because a lot of spots that the EOP yards are on yards that we can't be on in the first place. So I was unable to help myself in that way. But seeing that, prison being as volatile as it was, a lot of people that are bipolar, sometimes your mood swings are so severe that one switch to the next can throw you in a rage. I mean, you start to feel it. It bubbles because your mind is at a lot of times unable to process the fact that you're about to swing. You know it's coming, but your mind processing a certain way. For individuals like me, it's more anger, like not being able to really understand how it comes. Like, not, I won't even say that. It's not that understanding of not being able to understand how it comes. It's just sometimes it's so severe that's the first thing. That's why a lot of people, like, I tend to take things to the extreme. I've always been an extreme person. If it's something that can be handled with fists, it might be handled with a gun. Not no more, but back in the days, that was the train of thought. It was like, if something can be handled with talking, I wanted to fight. It's just, if anything made me shift even a second. I never had triggers. I understand now that my age, I have a lot of triggers, which is funny, but that's just the way things go. But it's just one of those things. The reason, like I said, I wanted to speak out about it, because a lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of people that are incarcerated are dealing with these same exact things, and some a lot more severe. Like, my swings have been so severe in the past to where, it throws me out of a loop, and I had to really sit back and be able to catch myself. And the fact that I don't take medication makes it a lot worse. But I have everything to focus on, especially being on the streets. A lot of times I can throw myself into workout. Maybe I throw myself into playing video games. Maybe I focus on how to make that next check come. You know what I mean? As far as, like, when it comes to my merch and the people I deal with. I'm more of an introvert, so I don't really go too many places. When I first got out, people were surprised because they're like, damn, you assimilated back into society so well. But I'm able to do that, a chameleon. You know what I'm saying? But I did have my issues, especially when I'm around too many people. Sometimes I get anxious. Sometimes I can get angry at the fact that there's just too many people around me. And you know what I mean? I get irritated, but I usually there for a second, then I'm gone. So, that it kind of makes, like, everyday life a little questionable, as far as, like, when you're working in an environment where you got to deal with multiple people. But like I said, the way prison is so structured that you're able to focus. Like, well, some people are unable to focus, but me, I've been so used to that structure that it taught me focus. That you're in a situation to where you just can't get help, because, like I said, it's a stigmatism that comes along with it. I'm gonna say straight out, because this guy had got at me. I'm not gonna say your name because it's not my right to put your name out there. But he got at me and said that I guess him and his daughter have been having a hard time. He sees something in her that, that he suffers with himself, and it makes it hard for him to everyday life, as far as, like, it messes with his bag, his money, how he gets his money. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things for the people that have ever dealt with mental health. A lot of times, especially if you bipolar, being amongst other people is kind of hard. And if you ain't got no medication to balance that out, you're gonna have a tough time of it. And me being one of those cats that I just don't do medication, so it's an everyday struggle. But sometimes I have my good times, sometimes I have my bad. But like I said, I got family and I got focus, and that what keeps me on the straight and narrow. Every once in a while they get the best of me, but I'm able to control from going too far down that rabbit hole. And when I can't control it, like I said, I got people, that so I got a solid foundation, and that's basically what you need for anybody going through that. You need that solid, that solid foundation. As long as you got that, for the most part, you can weather anything. But don't get me wrong, don't do what I do and don't take medication, because if you really need it, you should take it. Especially for the people that their manic is a lot more stronger than their depression. And for anybody have dealt with that, you can 1 second you can be there, and then the next second you can shift to a whole nother page. And like I said, it made it easier for me because I've always been an extreme person. Some people, the first time I ever saw a psych, that they said I was crazy, but it wasn't even that. It's just the fact that the turn up used to be so real, and at a young age you're unable to really understand where these emotions are coming from. It's like, you almost see certain emotion as weakness. But as you get older, you start to learn and you start to really research exactly where some of these symptoms come from. And for the most part, sometimes you can control it. But there's some people that's unable to control it. And there's been a lot of people in prison that have lost their life. And not only in prison, on the streets. They take their life all the time. Somebody had told me not that long ago that some people, had threw their self off the bridge somewhere in Hollywood, just off the freeway. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I think it was Hollywood or some spot in LA, but you see what I'm saying? People suffer this all the time. I see people on the street suffer from mental illness, talking to themselves. Some people are schizo and extremely violent. A lot of people didn't believe that bipolar people can be violent, but they are. And I mean, not all of them, but some of them, I say the mood swings are so severe they're unable to control that fact. Like it irritates them, makes them angry, so they act out. And some people act out in a violent way, and some people lose their life off the fact that this person acted out that way. Like I said, the whole reason I made this video, it's for a fact it's getting demonetized, because this issue right here is serious, and YouTube it's not popular for the, not that I've been really running ads anyway, you know what I'm saying, but it's just one of those things that it's not a popular subject to YouTube. But for the people like I said, the reason I made this video is to implore these people that have been getting at me, that do have mental issues, that are scared to want to go seek help because they figure it's going to reflect bad on them. I'm telling you straight out, you can go. It's confidential. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're a direct danger to somebody else, there's nothing they can do. Like, it's just one of those things that you gotta seek help, and that's to anybody. I implore anybody from young to old. If you're having issues up here, and it's gonna cause you to either hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, you really need to seek out help, because at the end of the day, once you go to that point, there's no bringing you back. You can't get back once you're dead. You know what I'm saying? And some people, miraculously, I won't even say miraculously, come back alive. They're able to be saved on the brink of death, and somehow are brought back, you know what I mean, due to medical science. But at the end of the day, if you really need help, you need to seek it out. And that's all I'm really gonna say on that, as far as like with Dude's business. And for anybody that has ever got at me about mental health, I'm telling you, and I implore you to go seek help. It don't make you less of whatever. If you a gangster, don't make you less of a gangster. Yeah, in prison we can't do it. It's just one of those. It's a major rule, and not that people will really hold you to that. You can't go, but it's done. There's no more double S. There's no more SUD. There's no more none of that. You take meds. A lot of people see it as basically you're locking it up, when they know it's not. But they just like, hey, you know what? You got issues. Drugs has a lot to do with that too. There's a lot of people that have minor issues, got into drugs, and it made it a lot worse. That's why I be telling people a lot with that too. Like these designer drugs and popping pills and all that shit. Before it wasn't popular to be a crackhead. Now, dudes popping lean and doing all types of stuff, losing their mind, and that's just popular. That's like the thing today. That's they're no longer crackheads. Do talk about smoking rock. It doesn't even look bad on them no more. But that's just the way it is. I don't know who's honking, but they're idiots. But anyways, that's basically all I wanted to say on that. So like I said, for the people that have some type of mental issues, I implore you to get help. It's not gonna dampen anything. The way science moves now, there's a lot of medications. If they affected you a certain way back in the days, it may not affect you the same. They, like I said, they got different cocktails. I myself refrain from doing it, which I shouldn't, but you know what I mean. I'm just one of those type of people that like to do shit the hard way sometimes. But for the most part, that's basically what I'm gonna say on that. You know what I mean? But for the people that are in jail and dealing with mental health issues, I feel for you because I understand exactly where you're at. It's always should I or shouldn't I? And if I do, basically my career is over, and that's just the way it is. So for people that see people suffering from that in jail, understand more people than you know are suffering from mental health issues, and it's just the way it is. Especially if you had a mild issue, everything that's compiled on that. You seeing bloodshed, you seeing fools get laid out in the yard, you seeing fools get killed. You know what I mean? And like I said, they got fools in there that have killed themselves. You know what I mean? Or they have family members that die and that just broke them. So for the most part, all I'm gonna say, this is about mental health. You know what I'm saying? You need help, go ahead and get it. And and fuck what people think, because at the end of the day, you got one life to live, and once it's gone, ain't no get back. And that's your boy Zod telling you the real, and I'm out.